Hi, I am Laura Kay, coming to you directly from my yoga studio in Panama that I custom built just so you'd have a safe space to practice while you're traveling. If you're not traveling and you're in your home, I'm so honored to be there with you. So, in today's practice, we're going to focus on back strengthening. And back pain is the number one condition that people complain about in their lives. So, all sorts of lifestyles can lead to this, whether you're a worker that stands on your feet all day, or even a dentist or a massage therapist, someone who's bent over all day, a restaurant worker, a chef, someone who's kind of bending over to do their work. This is your livelihood. You have to do it. Or whether you're like me, you sit in a computer chair all day. That's really what I do when I'm not on the mat. So, whether you sit or sit too much or stand too much, bend it over, what this practice will do will strengthen your back and get you back into a habitual pattern of an optimal posture. So, don't even think of yourself as a bad posture. Let's just look towards the optimal. That being said, take a seat, close your eyes, and gently turn inside. And I want you to really witness your goodness first. Close your eyes gently and really turn inside. As you open your heart, you take your shoulders back to get the heart open. And now that it's open, place your fingers together lightly in front of your heart. And imagine that you're holding a beautiful ball of warmth, of light, right in front of your heart. And as you sit up tall, notice that you are using your back muscles just in an effort to sit up tall so that your lungs have capacity to breathe deep. You can sit up with a nice little blanket under your bum so that you can have an arch under your bum. Now turn inside and see nothing but your beauty. See nothing but your goodness, your intrinsic awesomeness, as we called it last week. That's still number one principle. Tap into that positive attitude. Easier said than done. So at least for this next 40 minutes, check inside and see how soft and open and beautiful you really are. And it takes a lot of courage, a lot of gutsiness to be vulnerable, to share oneself, to be that open. And so that's why you see a lot of people that are perhaps super tall. They will hunch down to just try to make themselves smaller, to make other people comfortable. Okay, we're not here to play that. We're going to make ourselves taller and brighter. And this takes courage to do. You'll see a lot of people just want to shrink into themselves. I'm an introvert with, actually, I'll tell you, I have mental illness. And so for me, this isn't easy. And I'm not expecting it to be of you as either. I can't even speak trying to convey how important this is. Turn inside and seek. You are worthy of love, of light, of attention, of priority, of value. You are worthy of all that and more. And so we're going to really use the back muscles, our strength, our courage, our ballsiness, whatever you want to call it, our ovariness, I should say. Even more powerful, right? So let's tap into that. Use our power to get ourselves open. So we're not so muscle bound, we're not so tight, we're not so walled around the heart. Let's really take what life's biggest lesson is to learn to surrender, to be vulnerable, to be open. And hopefully with that balance of courage and softening, we can create beauty. And the beauty is you. So let's get started. Go ahead and turn inside and love yourself and honor today's practice. Dedicate this practice to you. And may it serve not just you, but the people in your lives, people that you love. So here we go. Let's get started. Come on to hands and knees, please. Now, if you'd like a blanket under your knees, go for it. I have a knee injury, so a comfortable knee is quite nice. The rest of your foundation can still be very stable, and that's whatever is touching the floor. So in this case, your fingertips, and see how the back toes are tucked. So even in this position, a seemingly simple position, I say seemingly because nothing is simple about the human body and mind. It's so beautifully intricate and connected. So even in this seemingly simple pose, the back toes are tucked. They reflect your intent, which is pure and good and stable and strong. Now check out your fingers. You have a lovely view. So that's the rest of your foundation. Strong, wide fingertips into the mat. So strong, and there's like a little suction cup under your palm, like you could fit a pea underneath there. So strong that I couldn't pick them up if I tried. And with your consent, I do come around the class and I try. And people let me. And I don't have the right to pick up your fingers. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to set boundaries. This is your body. So allow your fingertips to say no. It leads to a higher yes, which is a safe, nice, comfortable, strong, flexible wrist. Now onto hands and knees. Every inhalation, stick your bum up in the air. That's an open heart. And with every exhalation, round your upper back. And just keep going at your own pace of breath. You literally go with the flow. Now, step your right foot forward to the top of your mat. Place your forearms down to the left of your right foot. Now they can either go to a block or to the floor. Either one is totally cool. Use what's more optimal for your body. Notice the back toes are still tucked. Even though it doesn't seem that big of a deal, it's also a mindset. You get in that habit of thinking of your back leg, your back foot as your stability, your foundation, your courage, your strength. So that what you're working on up top can be more soft and open. Other side. Now always pause and feel in between sides. Now left foot forward, forearms down to the block or the floor to the right of your left foot. Check it out how the front knee is over the ankle and the front thigh is parallel to the ground. So it's a pretty deep stretch. Just warming up the big muscles of your front thigh. Now if a block under your forearms here gives you more freedom to explore that yumminess and openness of your front leg, by all means please use the block. You can get sometimes a more optimal stretch out of it. Turn inside and assume your highest, really. Assume the best of yourself. And with long deep breaths, just feel how yummy that is. I like to get rid of the blanket as we get ready for just a little flow. We're going to start with a plank pose. Keep in mind your fingertips are stable. They're your foundation. Exhale slowly down to the ground. Don't spread your legs here. I know it's easier. It's not worth the back crunch. So with legs parallel, keep your shoulders back, your elbows bent. If you come up on, we talked about this last week. If you hyperextend your elbows, you're going to mess up your shoulders. So put in the extra effort to get into the optimal pose. I've been teaching 10 years and hey, I'm a naturally lazy person, so I know all the tricks to get into a pose more effectively. So it's worth the extra effort sometimes to know that you're safe and optimal and you'll get quicker results. Now this isn't a competition, but we might as well put in our best effort while we're here to get the most optimal results. So I'm not going to let you cheat. Now I want to show you the internal rotations of the thigh bones. So the only way to really do that is to show you groins back and apart. Now it is fine to bend your knees to touch the ground here. It's actually safer for your back. So bend your knees, internally rotate your thigh bones. Basically that means you try to move your thighs away from each other, your inner groins away from each other without moving your feet. Now you can do that with bent knees. It's totally cool. So even with bent knees, internally rotate your thigh bones. Now press into straighter legs. They may not go all the way straight. That's cool. Doesn't matter. It's better that you're safe. So this internal rotation of the thigh bones is something we're going to be working on a lot. Exhale down into cobra with legs parallel. Inhale cobra. See how the elbows are bent, shoulders are back. That way your shoulders are getting strengthened and your heart is getting open. It's way more forward. Isometrically draw your hands towards your hips in cobra. Now press back, downward dog. Now if you bend your knees, you can really internalate your rotated thigh bones. Now with your internally rotated thigh bones, press back into downward dog. See how they're internally rotating? Maybe you don't see it, but you can feel it. Just keep your feet where they are as you try to widen your thighs away. Now step your right foot forward. Your knee is directly over your ankle. If a block under your right hand gives you more freedom in your hips, by all means go for it. Lower your back foot. Instead of the bum sticking out, you're going to scoop your front bum cheek under. That's an external rotation of your top thigh bone. Now, with left shoulder blade back, reach arm over ear, palm is face down. Notice as you lean back with your left shoulder blade, you're really forced to engage your core muscles. Come back into downward facing dog. Fingertips so strong that I couldn't pick them up if I tried. Thighs are working back and apart, the groins. Without moving the feet, you isometrically widen your thighs. Now step your left foot forward, up in between your hands, pause on fingertips, knee over ankle, cool. Add the external rotation to your front thigh bone. That basically means scoop your front bum cheek under, top shoulder blade moves way back to open the heart. Now inhale, reach, arm over ear, palm is face down. See how expressive even the fingertips are. Allow every single part of your pose to be expressive and open. It takes strength actually to be that aware of every part of your body. Your awareness really has to be everywhere, not just your body, but your mind, your mood, where it's heading. Allow yourself patience. Allow yourself compassion. Give yourself credit just for showing up. Step your right foot forward, pause on fingertips, lower your back foot, perhaps the block for your right hand. Now straighten your front leg. And so instead of the bum sticking out here, and I see this all the time in class, don't stick your ass out in this one. Scoop your front bum cheek under. Take your top shoulder blade back. Now with hand to sky, really shine your light out in all directions. See how the front thigh bone is externally rotated. Basically, that means you're scooping it under. Come back to downward facing dog. Check out the fingers. They are in such a good habit of staying strong that I don't even have to think about it anymore. And you'll get that way too. It just takes practice, and every day we just come to the mat with our best intent and we're perfect. Left foot forward, straighten your front leg. Perhaps the block for your left hand, it does give you a lot more freedom to scoop your front bum cheek under. Top shoulder blade moves back, right hand to the sky. Shine the light out like a star. Shine your light out in all directions. Even your fingers are expressive. See, the further you lean back, the nicer groin stretch you'll get in the front leg. And the side core muscles, your obliques, wow, they get a workout too. But the ultimate is the heart opening towards the mirror, and that's reflected to you. So here we have a map of the human nervous system. You can see your spine, your brain, everything's connected. So I use this practice not only for physical fitness, but for depression, for my mental health, just as equally. So see how your nervous system, it's all connected. Now, usually we all sit too much, even surfers, whatever. We tend to get into this posture of shoulders hunched forward, tailbone tucked. If you look at airplane seats, you'll see that they're made for people with hunch in their back. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. And you do have that natural curvature to your upper spine, but it's the lower spine that you'll see in airplane and bus seats that the airlines know that people are comfortable slouched. Just with the Industrial Revolution, we're not walking as much anymore. We're not moving physically much anymore. So even if we are, it's things like bicycling or running or surfing, which all are great activities, they are, but they kind of get a body into a more forward folding position, and quite strongly too. So you might have heard the term muscle bound. So even if you are quite physically active, if you're doing it in a way that's not optimally physically aligned for your spine, this can lead to weakened back muscles. Now, you might be super strong in other places. That's totally cool. But the place that doesn't get enough love is the lower back. And it takes actually a lot of work to get it strong. But I have never had back pain a day in my life. And it's because of this practice. So what we're going to move into next is called bow spring, or in Spanish we call it arco dinámico, which means dynamic arches. And so that's what your spine is. You have these dynamic arches. You have a slight one in your neck, and you have a more profound one in your lower back. And so what we're going to do today is really work with those. So again, evolutionary wise, we haven't caught up with the Industrial Revolution. That's why our bodies feel pain. We sit too much as a culture. Whether it's sitting, it's forward folding activities. So we're going to work on this natural arch to the neck. That strengthens your neck muscles. I had a really bad neck injury in Thailand. Got dropped on my head. Since I've been practicing this alignment, no neck pain. And that's a lifelong injury. If I'm not careful, it'll flare up. So I practice this regularly. Now this is the lower arch back spine. So this is especially for surfers, pilots, bus drivers, anyone who sits too much or is moving forward with their shoulders too much. And that's what I mean by surfers. There's nothing wrong with that, but too much of the shoulders moving forward causes the lower back to tuck. And whenever you tuck it, you weaken those muscles, and that's what causes the pain. So instead of accommodating you like the airline seats, get ready for a ride, because we're going to make you work your lower back muscles. Of course, for an airplane ride, you want to be comfortable and just go to sleep. But personally, I cannot ride in an airplane without propping my lower back up with blankets, magazines, pillows, whatever I have, I'll stick under there so I can still have an optimally aligned spine. And when I get off that 9-hour flight, or however long a flight it is, my body's feeling pretty good. And I want your body to feel good too, because you totally deserve it. You really, really do. So, first principle of yoga, positive attitude. Please keep an open mind as we move into this bowspring alignment. And I'll let you know when we're moving in and out of the Anusara inspired, more traditional alignment into this relatively new yet super powerful and effective bowspring alignment. So this right here that I'm sitting in is bowspring. actually. It's just, it's basic alignment throughout the whole system. Both knees bent, arch to the low back, arch to the neck. Now we're just gonna move into the rest of this practice, and I hope that you enjoy it with me as we come together in my house. Welcome to my home, custom built from the ground up with nothing but love. So what I'm showing you here is how I would see women in India when I went there. They would cook on the streets, literally on the streets. And they would sit like this. I don't know if you can see my bum in the mirror behind me. Yeah, so they would sit like this and just cook on the streets. And I took a yoga for women class by Menika Desikachar. Oh my goodness. That's a whole nother story, whole nother class. But basically, she said that women give birth in India like this. I've never been pregnant, so I wouldn't know about that. But I did take her class, and she said, yeah, this is how people eat, cook, birth, shit, you name it, life in India. So, and if you think of it, it is a much more natural form that we've gotten away from. So this is what we've gotten towards, this hunching forward. So look at my face. This does send signals to your brain saying, oh, this is stressful. Life is hard. I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders. Oh, I want to curl like a turtle into a ball. Life sucks. So, trust me, I suffer from depression. I know what it's like. So the best way, you can actually send chemicals to your brain that reduces your cortisol levels, your stress hormone levels. When you come into an optimal spinal position, it's true. This is basic neurology. It's all connected. Like the poster said, this is your nervous system. It's not just your spine, it's your brain. It's all connected. So this optimal spinal position, look at that smile. Look at that smile. Now that's an active smile. It's real. I want you to join me on this practice. Keep an open mind. You're going to so dig the results. The results are powerfully effective and strong. So here we go. Join me. All right. So just giving you a wider view of this seated position. This is how I would see the women in India cooking on the street. And it is you can see the core muscles work. It's not easy. It's worth the effort. Now, both thigh bones are externally rotating, and that's what separates bowspring from traditional alignment. In this bowspring or arco dinámico, both thigh bones are internally rotated. Basically, that's fancy talk for stick your ass out. Okay, so bring your hands forward. This is called crouching cat. So yeah, claw the mat like a little kitty cat. I like a blanket for the knees. I like comfortable knees. My mat is super slippery, so I just come to my floor. Now on the inhale, lift up both knees off the ground. Internally rotate your thigh bones. So without straightening your legs, try to stick your butt up way up in the air. So you're using your lower back muscles to achieve this. It's easier, it looks easier than it is. It's quite dynamic. You can rock back and forth. Now see how the head looks up. So you're working that natural arch to your neck and a deeper, enhanced, more profound arch to your lower back. Exhale slowly down. Walk your hands back to resist child's pose. You don't need to curl into a ball like a little roly-poly insect afraid of the world. Shake your ass instead. It just feels good on the hips. Why don't you just celebrate it instead? All right. So here we go. More crouching cat. Now bring your hands far forward like a little gatita, a little katsi, as we say. Now claw the mat. Deep arch to your lower back, little arch to your neck. Keep the deep arch to your low back. Lift up both knees. Keep both knees bent. Now, take your left knee up. So it's up about 45-degree angles. Notice how both knees stay bent. Notice how the top toes are spread. That keeps the top leg active. So you stick your bum up in the air without straightening your bottom leg. Now that takes a lot of lower back strength. It also takes a lot of upper back strength right in between the shoulder blades. You can feel it. Super juicy, super strong. The next day, promise me, I promise you, you'll feel it. Walk your hands back. Resist child's pose. You don't need it. Please don't do it. It's the fetal position. You're not in mama's womb. You're a grown-ass person in the real world. Feel the difference in your bum muscles. Oh my goodness. Forward with your hands. More crouching cutsy. Like a little kitty cat, you claw the mat. Deep arch to your back. Little arch to your neck. Lift up both knees. Keep both knees bent. Keep the deep arch to your lower back as you lift your other leg up. So it's parallel to the ground more or less at a 45-degree angle. So that's the right leg up. The right toes are spread. Notice how the bottom leg wants to straighten. Don't let it. Keep it bent so it's got to work. Basically, you try to get your bum up in the air as high as you can. But you have to use your lower back muscles to pull that move off. Oh, yes. Keep the shoulders strong, the fingertips strong. Everything is working. Couple more breaths. Know that this is so worth the effort. You are saving yourself from a life of back pain. Really, what could be more a better gift than that? So many people are on opioids for back pain. Let's try this first. Now walk your hands back. Avoid child's pose. You don't need it. People do it in class because they want to hide. You are not here to be hidden. You are here to be seen, honey. You are glory. Let's show it off. Spread your toes. The foundation is whatever touches the floor. In this case, it's just your freaking foot. So spread your toes. All right, here you go. Same alignment system, bowspring. Bend both knees. Arch your low back, little arch to the neck. Your chest stays forward, so it's a proper back bend. It looks and feels a bit like a dancer's pose, but unlike dancer's pose, you're not holding your top foot up with your hand. You're holding it up with your bum muscles, your upper glutes. They're connected to your lower back. It's all connected. Notice the right leg will want to straighten. Don't let it. That just leads to hyperextension and weakening of the knee. Now, this is quite dynamic. It's quite bouncy. That strengthens the knee. Now you have the choice. Root down to rise up. Oh yeah. Now just pause and feel that. Oh my goodness. You'll feel it in your upper bum muscles. Set your foundation. It's nothing but your feet. So your toes as wide and strong as they can be. Holds up all this gloriousness, and that gloriousness is you. So here you go. Deep arch to your lower back, little arch to your neck. Chest stays forward. It's really springy and dynamic. Right foot up. Now again, you use your right upper glutes to take your right foot higher to the sky. The left knee stays bent. That way you gotta work it. It's a proper back bend. It's not a forward fold like a warrior 3, for instance. This looks and feels a lot more like a traditional dancer. But your butt muscles have to work a lot more. It's quite springy and dynamic. You can bend your knee as much as you want. Now root down to rise up. Oh yes, I like to applaud myself, and so should you. Take a wide stance. Now this is the same alignment system. Both knees are bent, deep arch to the back. You can see both thigh bones are internally rotated. So again, that's fancy talk for stick your ass out. And your butt isn't sticking out because you're bending forward. Your shoulders are quite far sticking backwards as well. That way there's a deep arch to your lower back. Yeah, you're not bent forward. Your shoulders move back as well. That causes a really deep arch. Now clasp your hands and isometrically draw your hands away from each other. Now that's going to expand your rib cage. As you can tell how I clear my throat, I have damaged lungs, so this whole expansion of the rib cage thing feels so good on the lungs. So as much as this is a strong kick-ass pose, your lungs are getting expanded, your rib cage expanded as you isometrically draw your fingers away from each other. So even though this is a leg balancing pose, you're still using your upper body strength. Come up on tippy toes. See the tippy toes? That forces you to work your core muscles to keep from falling forwards or backwards in this pose. Damn, feel that. Yes, let's do more. Come to the wall. And this is also bowspring. Same alignment system. It's the deep arch to the lower back, a little baby arch to your neck. I'm getting silly. It's in my own home. What can I say? Bend both knees, arch your low back. So that means a little arch to your neck, big arch to your low back. Both, and don't even think about leaning into the wall, honey. I know all the cheating tricks. Take your shoulders back. It's quite springy and bouncy. Now with both knees bent, keep that deep arch to your lower back as you lift your right leg up parallel to the ground, 45-degree angle. So as that right leg went up, the tailbone will want to tuck. Don't let it. Keep both thigh bones internally rotated. Basically, that means you stick your butt out. Not just your butt out, but your shoulders stay back. So again, it's a proper back bend. Play with fingertips off the wall. Even if they come off for just a second, it makes a big difference. Pause and feel that difference in your bum muscles. Oh my goodness, that is crazy deep. Here we go. We're going to work on the other side. Little arch to your neck, deep arch to your back. Do not lean in towards the wall. Here we go. From the other direction, you can see my goddess Shakti behind me. She's the goddess of abundance, and she is here to shine on you, whatever abundance means to you. Love, money, food, whatever. Abundance, Shakti is there shining on you. Now this is what I meant by fingertips off the wall. This is totally optional. See how with both knees bent, one leg goes up in about a 45-degree angle. Now with fingertips off the wall, you just play with it. The goal isn't to maintain fingertips off the wall. You just kind of play lightly with fingertips off the wall, and you'll notice even if they come off for like a split second, it forces you to work your foundational leg, your right leg, a whole lot more. And notice the deep arch to the low back. Oh yes, goodness, pause and feel that. It looks simple, but it really literally kicks your ass. So here you go. Come onto your back, please. And place a profound arch to your lower back. So usually when people lay on their back, they just kind of flatten out. Don't allow yourself to be flat. Remember the poster of your spine. Did it look flat? No, it didn't. So we're going to go ahead and get a block ready for bridge pose. Again, eventually you won't use a block, but it's a good way to get your body into this muscle memory of having parallel thighs for any sort of back bend. As a traditional bridge, you'll inhale, come up. So instead of the pelvic thrusting forward, you're going to drop your bum down on tippy toes. And that gives you a lot more freedom. You can wiggle your bum. It gives you a lot more freedom, so it's a deeper arch to your back as you still get a heart opener. Exhale, land. So you can choose to either do another bridge with the tailbone actually coming down towards the floor, or join me in a wheel. All right, come on up on the inhale. So here's the traditional wheel. The pelvic floor is up. We're going to take it down. Come up on tippy toes. Now, see how the bum just dropped down, and that way the pelvic floor gets more open instead of the tailbone being tucked towards the sky. So now with the pelvic floor more open, not only do you get a deeper back bend, but you get a much more fluid and flowing experience. Exhale, come on down. Now I'm going to do it from the other direction just so you can see from a different perspective. Another wheel pose in the bowspring alignment. So you start out with an arched back in any yoga pose. I don't care what it is. See how you can see the light under my back? Inhale, come up. So instead of the pelvis being up high, drop your tailbone down towards the floor. You actually get a deeper back bend. The heart is more open towards the sky. Look how fluid the pelvis is. It's not just stuck up there in a pelvic thrust. It is fluid, it's flowing, it's flexible. Walk the feet back out, parallel thighs, land softly. Allow yourself to stay open. See how there's still an arch to the back? So even in this pose, just like, be vulnerable. You're in a safe space. You're in a safe space in my house. When you're ready, bend both knees, roll to one side. Use just your arm strength to press yourself up. Come back onto your back, please. Now, arch your low back. Just get into that habit. Once you're in the habit, it's just second nature. You want to keep the back arched, keep your left thigh bone on the ground. Now we're going back in traditional Anusara type of universal principles of alignment. So right leg up. Now if you use a strap, that's cool. Just every day incrementally take the strap a tiny bit shorter, a tiny bit shorter, tiny bit shorter, tiny bit shorter, till one day perhaps there's no strap. Perhaps that day never comes. Who cares? It doesn't matter. So when you have your foot, really extend out through your heel. Keep your foundational leg on the ground. So basically spread the toes on both feet, extend out through both heels, not just the top one. The firmer your bottom leg is, the more freedom your top leg's going to have. So work it. Your body, your awareness has to be everywhere, body and mind. Inhale your leg back up. Now turn it into a twist. Take your right leg to the right. You can either have both knees bent, or you can straighten your leg and bring your right foot all the way to your left hand. Externally rotate your top thigh bone. This is again traditional alignment system. Both shoulder blades are on the ground, and now your head turns in the opposite direction of your top leg. Yes, those are tan lines in between my thigh and my butt cheek. That's what happens when you lay out nude. I just do it in the privacy of my own backyard by myself, not for anyone's entertainment. It just feels good. Lift your butt up off the ground, set it back down so your sacrum is on a level playing field again. Yes, this is all play, honey. Enjoy it. Arch your low back. Keep your left thigh on the ground. Inhale, right leg up. Now take either your strap or your hand to your right foot. Both shoulder blades on the ground. Inhale, extend your right heel out towards the right. Now not only does it go out, it goes up. So up as in towards the wall behind your head. Oh yeah, that adds a whole element of surprise. Again, don't overstretch. Don't risk pulling a groin or a hamstring. It's not worth it. I've been practicing for decades, and I am by no means a master. You know, we practice until we die. All right, inhale, left leg back up. Now, right leg back up, excuse me. Now either keep your right knee bent or straighten it and take your right foot all the way to your left hand. Both shoulder blades stay on the ground, so notice how the top thigh externally rotated. That's fancy talk for bring your right hip, your top hip, closer towards your bottom foot. So what you're in essence doing is lengthening that whole side of your body. So your legs go in one direction, your head in the other, and it just feels good. Inhale back up. Lift your bum up off the ground. Set your sacrum back down, level. Pause and feel. Just come back to positive attitude, a heart full of gratitude. Life is good. You're here on this planet. You're alive. Get into the habit. Arch your low back so much. See how you can see light under my back? You want to have that nice deep arch so that your right thigh can stay on the ground. Now use either your strap or your hand to reach your foot. Take your foot out to the side. Extend out through both heels. Good. Now take your heel closer towards the wall behind your head. Enjoy your breath. With every inhale, play your edge. You find that edge and you just kind of play with it. Don't risk tearing anything. Just play with your edge. Very gently, very compassionately. It just feels good to get that open. So again, if you do activities that tighten your muscles, be grateful for yummy muscles, but we need to get them back open. So turn this into a twist. Take your left leg all the way over to your right hand. If it doesn't reach your right hand, just bend your knee. It's okay. Now the top thigh externally rotates. That's fancy talk for take your top hip bone away from your top armpit. So in effect, from your left armpit all the way down to your left hip bone, that side of your body gets longer. And you're going to get a much profound, look at that, a much longer, profound, deeper twist to your whole spine from top to bottom. Much more effective. With all these little tricks, it just makes all the poses more effective. As long as we're here, we might as well try to be as effective as we can. Lift your bum up, set it back down so you're level playing field again. Arch your low back. Just get into that habit. I don't care if you're going to bed at night, whatever it is. Arch that back, honey. It's so much more safe for you. So much more yummy. Now, keep your right thigh on the ground strong. Take a hold of your left foot so it looks a bit like a happy baby pose on one side. Now feel that groin muscle open. Your top shin is vertical. Now once your top shin is vertical, try to get your left knee closer towards the floor. Now it might not go to the floor, and that's fine. You might even use a strap to reach your foot. That's fine too. What's important is that your right leg, your foundational leg, stays strong on the ground. So spread your toes. Extend out through both heels. So now with your left hand, draw your left knee closer to the floor and then release. Pause and feel that. Send yourself some love, some compassion to your pelvis. You deserve it. I'm sure you do. I know you do. Send yourself some love to your pelvis. Left thigh stays strong on the ground. Take your right foot. Arm is on the inside of your right knee. Hand wraps around the outside of your right foot. Keep your left leg strong on the ground. Now in this pose, once you have your top shin vertical, try to take your right foot and your right knee closer towards the floor. So you're basically using the strength of your right arm to pull your leg back like a slingshot. Now a slingshot is powerful, I know. So take it easy. Don't go too far. Just find your edge and play it. Again, perhaps your leg won't go to the ground. Perhaps you'll use a strap, and that's cool. And release. And just pause and feel that yumminess. My goodness, it just opens up all this energy to your groin, to your pelvis. Arch your low back. Again, just get into this habit. Now we're going to move into this. So it's not a happy baby. So a happy baby has too much pelvic thrust. It has too much fetal position. Again, you're not a baby in mama's womb. This is not a fetal position baby pose. This is the bowspring version of it, and it's a twist. Look how there's an arch under my back. So both shoulder blades stay on the ground. Your bum is on the ground. Both thigh bones are internally rotated. Again, that's just fancy talk for stick your ass out. You're trying to make your pelvic floor open. So get it open down there. Show off your tan lines, whatever you got. So try to keep both shoulder blades on the ground as you twist. Now you'll have your legs, just like this, kind of in a 45-degree angle or so. The toes are spread, so that means your legs are active. They're not just plopping around up there. Your fingers are active. Look how strong my arm muscles are working to keep the shoulder blades on the ground. So not only are you getting the pelvic floor open, the heart open, you're getting a back workout and a twist. This is like the ultimate. It looks so easy. And it is kind of easy, but it's powerful. The power from this is just astounding. It will blow your mind. If you have a sex life, it will improve it. Trust me, I've done the research. Now, come on to your back, and that's it. You've deserved, oh my goodness, a lovely Shavasana. Come on to your back, please. With your eyes gently closed, and turn inside. And really choose to see your goodness first. Choose to see your openness, your vulnerability, the beauty that is your true nature. You just did all this hard work to get this energy and parts of your body opened up that aren't used to it, actually. So give yourself credit and allow all this energy to just flow freely through your body now. And look, there's even a tiny arch under my back, and I'm not even trying for it. It's just naturally there now after so much practice. And yours will be too. And that just means pain-free. Allow your whole body to be heavy into the support of the earth. Legs heavy, arms heavy, palms faced up, fingers naturally relaxed. Your inner body's bright. Your skin is soft. Allow your forehead, your face to be smooth, peaceful, with relaxation. With every slow exhalation, allow your jaw muscles to release, so much so that the upper and lower rows of teeth will lightly separate. Enjoy your breath. With your skin soft, start to expand that beautiful light that is you. Expand your rib cage, your lungs receive a deeper breath as you subtly move your body. Then gently bend one knee and then the other knee. With both knees bent, again you would come up this way to save your back. Place both hands on the floor and use just your arm strength to press yourself up to a nice, comfy, seated position. And even sitting is an art form. You place a blanket under your bum so that you can have a lovely block. You physically, manually, with both hands, internally rotate your thigh bones. You take a nice seat. So that lovely arch to your lower back. Again, the shoulders move back as well, so you don't just stick the bum out by bending forward. You get the shoulders back so the heart is open, the back is working. Yes, it takes work. It's worth it. With your eyes gently closed, bring your fingertips together in front of your heart. Choose to see love over fear. Choose to see how much courage it takes for you to be open to this vulnerable side of yourself. It takes practice, it takes strength. It's worth it to be with a life free of back pain. When you can feel free and happier within yourself, it really does help you to see that in others and to spread that love. Namaste. Thank you for sharing this practice with me. Besos from Panama. Big kiss from Panama.